Hello, everybody! Let's talk about my reading addiction and the contest that exacerbates it. Alright, my 2013 reading goal was 150 books. This was actually about 20 books less than I read in 2012 because I felt like I shouldn't aggravate my reading addiction any more than I already had. Yeah, screw that. I ended up making 149% of that goal for a total of 223 books. Let's compare 2012 to 2013 by star ratings, shall we? In 2012, I read 2 books that I gave 5-star ratings, meaning they were just perfect. They were Juliette Marillier's Heart's Blood and also a non-fiction expose that I really enjoyed. In 2013, that number dropped to 1, and that one was Fangirl. In 2012, I read 34 books that I rated 4 stars, meaning I loved them. Books like Snow Crash, The Accidental Tourist, and A Discovery of Witches. In 2013, that number remained spookily the same, with 33 books garnering the coveted 4 stars. Books like Vampire Academy, Night Circus, and The Darkest Minds. Next up, 3 stars, which means I solidly liked these books. In 2012, 98 books attained this rating. Books like The Joy Luck Club, Insurgent, and 50 Shades of Grey. In 2013, this number went up by 16% to 116 books and included books like The Postman, How to Flirt with a Naked Werewolf, and City of Lost Souls. Let's talk about 2 stars, which means I really didn't like these books. In 2012, 31 books were consigned to this pile, including Fallen, Real Vampires Have Curves, and Sensible Housekeepers Scandalously Pregnant. In 2013, this pile grew to 73 books for a growth rate of 58%. So in other words, I read a lot more books I didn't like in 2013 over 2012. Though I do have to say that some of that can be accounted for by realizing that as I read more, I started to rate things more stringently than I had in 2012. The good news is that while in 2012 I rated 4 books with the dreaded 1 star, let's just say they mostly had titles like Auction Virgin to Seduce Bride and The Sheik's Impetuous Love Slave. Anyway, the good news is that I avoided reading any 1-star books in 2013. I didn't read anything I truly deeply hated to my core, so that's a win. Okay, now that's all well and good, but how did I do on page count? Well, in 2012, I read 59,630 pages, and in 2013, I read 76,789 pages for a gain of 22%. The longest book I read in 2012 was The Well of Shades by Juliette Marillier, very, very good, for 625 pages. In 2013, my longest book was Wizard's First Rule for 836 pages. And in 2014, my longest book will be one of the 2 900-page behemoths I'm working on now. Speaking of 2014, let's set my 2014 goal, shall we? I feel like a challenge. I feel that now that I'm booktubing, I have a legitimate reason to indulge my obsession. So I'm gonna go big this year, really challenge myself. Okay, last year's goal was 150 books, which was a book every 2.5 days or so. I ended up reading 223 books, which was a book every 2 days or so. In 2014, I'm going to up that to 250 books, which is a book every day and a half. Sounds daunting, but I think doable. So how did you do on your reading goal this year? I would like to note that only about 3% of the Goodreaders who created goals at the beginning of 2013 actually went on to complete that goal. So no matter what size of goal you had, if you completed it, that's a major accomplishment. So congratulations are well deserved all around. Here's to an even more epic 2014.